From Mukesh Ambani's $2.6 billion tower with artificial snow room in tropical Mumbai, to Larry Ellison's $200 million Japanese estate with imported master craftsmen and prize-winning koi. In this video, we're diving into the stories of 10 billionaire properties where ultra-wealthy owners spent fortunes creating homes that defy all logic. Buckingham Palace, $5 billion. Standing in the heart of London, Buckingham Palace represents the ultimate in residential extravagance at $5 billion. This living piece of history spans 828,000 square feet containing 775 rooms meticulously maintained across centuries. What makes Buckingham Palace truly defy logic are the absurd features within. Hidden beneath runs a network of secret tunnels designed for royal escapes. There's a private cinema and, most bizarrely, a private ATM exclusively for royal use. The 39-acre gardens in central London require full-time teams maintaining manicured lawns and rare flowers, complete with a 3-acre lake. The property technically belongs to the British public, held in trust by King Charles III, whose personal wealth jumped from $40 million to $854 million upon coronation. The royal family's holdings reach $28 billion, including Crown Estate profits generating $1.5 billion annually. The palace receives $60 million yearly just for maintenance. Serving as both home and workplace, the palace hosts state dinners and ceremonies requiring spaces for thousands of guests. This means maintaining residential quarters, throne rooms, ballrooms, and reception areas decorated with priceless royal collection artwork. The truly logic-defying aspect. This single building requires more staff and resources than many corporate headquarters. Yet, it's classified as someone's home, functioning like a small city with its own post office, police station, and medical facilities. The next property takes us from London's historic grandeur to Mumbai's modern skyline, where architectural ambition reaches new vertical heights. Antilia, $2.6 billion. Rising above Mumbai's congested streets stands Antilia, owned by billionaire Mukesh Ambani and valued at $2.6 billion. When someone with $112 billion from Reliance Industries decides a regular penthouse won't suffice, you get this 27-story tower redefining single-family living. Antilia encompasses 400,000 square feet, featuring 6 floors exclusively for parking 168 cars. 3 helipads crown the roof, but the most absurd element? The snow room, an air-conditioned chamber producing artificial snow right in Mumbai, where temperatures regularly soar above 90 degrees. It's technology triumphing over geography, allowing the Ambani family to experience winter without leaving tropical India. The building features multiple swimming pools, a multi-floor health spa, a ballroom, and hanging gardens on nearly every level requiring constant maintenance and irrigation pumping water hundreds of feet upward. The entire structure is earthquake-resistant, built to withstand magnitude 8 tremors through specialized engineering, adding countless millions to costs. Ambani's broader portfolio amplifies extravagance. A Boeing 747 valued at 600 crore rupees, a Dubai villa worth 640 crore, the yacht Amavi purchased for 150 million, and the Mumbai Indians cricket team valued at 10,000 crore rupees. What makes Antilia truly defy logic is creating a vertical city for one family. The building requires 600 full-time staff to maintain, more employees than many mid-sized companies. The energy consumption powering artificial snow, multiple pools, and constant air conditioning in tropical heat creates a massive carbon footprint. For Ambani, Antilia represents a statement. When you have a small nation's wealth, your home should reflect that power regardless of practical sense. From vertical excess in urban India, our journey takes us to Southeast Asia, where horizontal grandeur reaches unprecedented scale. Istana Nurul Iman, $1.5 billion. In Brunei's capital sits Istana Nurul Iman, Sultan Hassan al Bolkiah's residence, valued at $1.5 billion. Holding the Guinness World Record as Earth's largest residential palace, it spans 2,152,000 square feet. The palace contains 1,788 rooms, enough to sleep in a different room nightly for nearly 5 years without repeating. 564 chandeliers turn every hallway into glittering spectacle. The banquet hall accommodates 5,000 dinner guests, making it less a dining room and more a convention center. The logic-defying elements emerge in specific amenities. Air-conditioned stables house 200 polo ponies, because in tropical Brunei, horses deserve climate-controlled luxury. The complex includes 5 swimming pools, a mosque holding 1,500 worshippers, and garages for the Sultan's legendary car collection. Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah's net worth fluctuates between $30 and $50 billion from Brunei's oil reserves. His car collection alone values at $5 billion with 7,000 vehicles, including 600 Rolls-Royces and numerous gold-plated models. He owns a gold-plated Boeing 747 valued at 4,300 crore rupees, a private zoo with exotic animals, and a $70 million Renoir painting. What makes Istana Nurul Iman defy logic is sheer impracticality. A home this large requires hundreds of staff working shifts to maintain what amounts to a small city. Air conditioning bills cooling over 2 million square feet in tropical climate, while keeping 200 horses comfortable, must run into millions annually. Despite all these rooms, much sits unused, serving primarily as power symbols rather than functional living spaces. We now travel westward to the French Riviera, where Mediterranean elegance meets astronomical price tags. Villa Leopolda, $750 million. On the French Riviera's sun-soaked hills, Villa Leopolda stands valued at $750 million. This 80,000 square foot estate's expense stems from its history, location, and sheer maintenance demands. Once owned by philanthropist Lily Safra, whose $1.3 billion fortune came from marriages to banking tycoons, this villa represents tradition-rooted excess. The property spans 50 acres, astronomical land value in the French Riviera's market. King Leopold II of Belgium originally built this as a gift for his mistress. The building passed through numerous hands, each adding touches while maintaining Belle Epoque elegance. What makes Villa Leopolda particularly illogical is garden maintenance requiring 50 full-time gardeners working every single day. 50 gardeners, a small army whose entire existence revolves around ensuring every blade of grass and flower petal meets impossible perfection standards. Annual garden maintenance costs likely exceed what most people earn across several lifetimes. The villa includes massive greenhouse complexes where delicate exotic plants are cultivated year-round. Guest houses scattered across the property each exceed most people's primary residences, offering sea views valued at millions per vista. The main house features frescoes, marble from no longer existing quarries, and architectural details that would cost fortunes to replicate today. Lily Safra's ownership until her 2022 death added prestige. She hosted lavish parties attracting European aristocracy, celebrities, and business magnates. Her philanthropy included a $46 million charitable art auction. Villa Leopolda's $750 million valuation reflects comparable area sales and unique historical pedigree, but true costs exceed purchase price. Annual operating expenses, paying 50 gardeners, maintaining historic structures, preserving century-old olive trees, transform ownership into ongoing financial commitments, dwarfing initial investment. It's not just a house you buy, it's a lifestyle you fund indefinitely. Just down the coastline from Villa Leopolda sits another French marvel that takes botanical obsession to new extremes. Villa Les Cèdres, $450 million. Along Saint-Jean-Cap-Ferrat's prestigious shoreline, Villa Les Cèdres rises as a botanical wonderland within an 18,000-square-foot mansion, valued at $450 million. Purchased by Ukrainian billionaire Rinat Akhmetov, whose 5.6 to 6.7 billion fortune flows from steel and mining, Villa Les Cèdres redefines luxury through horticultural excellence. The estate sprawls across 35 acres, housing 15,000 exotic plants representing Earth's rarest specimens. This isn't planting roses. We're discussing tropical rainforest species, carefully controlled desert flora, and ancient trees predating most modern nations. Massive greenhouses feature climate-controlled structures housing entire ecosystems where temperature, humidity, and light levels are precisely regulated. Built in 1850, the villa carries nearly 2 centuries of history. Architecture reflects Belle Epoque grandeur with modern renovations. An Olympic-sized swimming pool overlooks the Mediterranean. The property includes stables housing 30 horses. Those 15,000 plants truly make Villa-les-Cèdres defy logic. Maintaining this collection requires full-time botanists, horticulturalists, and groundskeepers. Each plant represents investment not just in initial purchase. Rare specimens cost thousands or tens of thousands each, but ongoing care spanning decades or centuries. Greenhouses alone consume more energy than most small commercial buildings, running heating and cooling systems simultaneously creating microclimates. A specialized library contains botanical manuscripts and rare horticultural texts. Rinat Akhmetov's 2020 purchase for approximately $450 million represented one of Europe's largest residential real estate transactions. His Ukrainian business interests face geopolitical conflict challenges, making his French estate a safe haven. Villa-les-Cèdres functions as a full-time botanical research facility happening to include living space, annual operating costs, staff salaries, plant acquisitions, greenhouse utilities, likely run into tens of millions, all for income-generating zero residents. Continuing along the French coast, we encounter a property that looks like it arrived from another dimension entirely. Les Palais Boules, $420 million. Rising near Cannes like frozen soap bubbles in terracotta concrete, Les Palais Boules, the Bubble Palace, stands as Earth's most visually distinctive property, valued at $420 million. This isn't just expensive, it's architecturally revolutionary, challenging every conventional building notion. Designed by Hungarian architect Antti Lovag and purchased by legendary fashion designer Pierre Cardin, whose $800 million fortune built his iconic fashion empire, this property intersects futuristic vision with extreme wealth. The entire structure consists of interconnected bubble-shaped rooms, each a perfect sphere or dome flowing into the next without single straight lines or right angles. Walking through Les Palais Boules feels like exploring alien spacecraft interiors or surrealist paintings come alive. Circular rooms challenge furniture placement, wall decoration, and basic spatial orientation, turning everyday living into unconventional geometry adaptation exercises. Windows are circular portholes framing Mediterranean views, while curved walls eliminate dust-collecting corners. Though unusual architecture probably creates a dozen new cleaning challenges, flat walls never present. The property sprawls across hillsides with 10-bedroom suites, each designed for different artists or guests, making Les Palais Boules as much creative retreat as residence. A 500-seat outdoor amphitheater carved into cliff faces overlooks the sea, where Pierre Cardin hosted fashion shows and cultural events bringing together celebrities, artists, and cultural icons. The amphitheater alone represents engineering feats requiring careful excavation and reinforcement, ensuring hundreds of guests could sit on hillsides without triggering landslides. Swimming pools follow the same bubble aesthetic, their curved edges and circular shapes creating aquatic experiences unlike rectangular pools could offer. Gardens wind between bubble structures, planted with Mediterranean vegetation, softening space-age architecture with organic greenery. A panoramic terrace accommodates 300 reception guests, proving even unconventional architecture can host traditional entertaining at grand scales. Pierre Cardin's ownership from 1992 until his 2020 death transformed the property into his fashion philosophy's extension. Known for space-age clothing designs, geometric patterns, and futuristic aesthetics pushing 1960s and 70s boundaries, Les Palais Boules became his design vision's architectural embodiment, where curves replaced lines, convention yielded to innovation, and living spaces challenged occupants' environmental thinking. The property's $335 to $456 million valuation reflects not just size or location but absolute uniqueness. No comparable property exists on Earth. Lovett's bubble architecture, conceived as more harmonious human habitation, remains rare enough that Les Palais Boules stands almost alone in its category. Since Cardin's death, family inheritance disputes debate the property's future, some advocating cultural venue preservation, others pushing private sale. What makes it defy logic most profoundly is absolute refusal, compromising with conventional architecture. Circular rooms make furnishing incredibly difficult. Curved walls complicate artwork hanging or shelving installation. Every contractor and maintenance worker needs non-standard approaches since nothing follows standard rules. It's excess measured not in square footage accumulation but absolute commitment to single, uncompromising aesthetic visions. From hillside bubbles in Cannes, we ascend to the sky-high luxury of Monaco's most exclusive address. Odeon Tower Penthouse, $330 million. Soaring above Monaco, where every square foot costs more than most people's homes, the Odeon Tower Penthouse claims the world's most expensive apartment title at $330 million. This sky palace spans 38,000 square feet across Monaco's tallest building's multiple floors, offering 360-degree views of Mediterranean, mountains, and the entire tiny nation below. The owner remains anonymous, likely a Russian or European oligarch whose net worth exceeds $10 billion, fitting Monaco's pattern attracting ultra-high net worth individuals seeking privacy and favorable tax treatment. The penthouse occupies the top 5 floors, representing Monaco's most prestigious address in a city-state where prestige measures in billions rather than millions. Private elevators bypass all other floors, ensuring residents never share space with lesser mortals owning merely $100 million lower-level units. The entrance opens into grand reception areas with floor-to-ceiling windows, eliminating boundaries between interior space and sky beyond, creating floating above Mediterranean sensations rather than standing-in-building feelings. Perhaps the most logic-defying feature is the 360-degree infinity pool wrapping the penthouse's perimeter, allowing residents swimming laps while gazing at views costing roughly $8 million per viewing angle. The pool connects to a private water slide. Yes, a water slide in a $330 million apartment, spiraling down between floors, turning transportation into entertainment and proving even billionaires enjoy simple pleasures, provided they're installed sky-high, costing millions to construct. The penthouse includes private health spas complete with saunas, steam rooms, and massage facilities rivaling 5-star hotels. There's a disco with marble floors and professional sound systems because apparently hosting Sky Palace parties requires aesthetics and acoustics rivaling professional nightclubs. Multiple bedrooms feature en-suite bathrooms with fixtures carved from single marble blocks and closets large enough qualifying as bedrooms themselves in most world parts. The master suite bathroom includes an infinity bathtub positioned against floor-to-ceiling windows, offering bathers experiences of soaking while seemingly suspended above Monaco and sea. But here's where expense becomes truly mind-boggling. Parking spots in Odeon Tower cost $330,000 each, not monthly rent, purchase price. Each parking space costs more than most Americans pay for entire houses, and the penthouse owner presumably purchased multiple spots accommodating car collections befitting someone living in the sky. The anonymous owner's choice remaining unidentified follows Monaco's privacy culture, where discretion values as highly as wealth itself. What makes this property defy logic is extreme luxury's vertical nature. The engineering supporting infinity pools wrapping buildings' perimeters hundreds of feet above ground pushes structural limits requiring weight distribution innovations, water sealing, and safety systems that didn't exist before projects like this demanded them. The Odeon Tower penthouse doesn't just defy logic, it defies gravity, common sense, and any reasonable assessment of what humans actually need living comfortably. But comfort was never the point. Dominance was achieved not through conquest, but through pure financial power concentrated into 38,000 square feet of sky-high excess. We now cross the Atlantic to America's East Coast, where self-sufficiency reaches unprecedented levels. 4. Fairfield Pond, $250 million. On 63 acres in Sagaponack, New York, near the Hamptons where wealthy New Yorkers retreat, sits 4 Fairfield Pond, a compound valued at $250 million, transforming home into a self-contained municipality. Owned by industrialist Ira Rennert, whose $3.8 billion fortune comes from Renko Group's mining and manufacturing operations, this property defies logic through its sheer ambition for complete outside world independence. The main residence spans 62,000 square feet across 29 bedrooms, providing small hotel-worth guest capacity. But the main house is just Fairfield's sprawling footprints beginning. The property includes a power plant, an actual power generation facility ensuring the estate never relies on external electrical grids, producing enough energy powering not just the main residence but all auxiliary buildings scattered across property. This isn't a backup generator, it's full-scale power production, normally serving small towns, repurposed serving single families. The amenities read like resort brochures rather than home inventories. A 164-seat theater features professional-grade projection and sound systems, large enough screening films for substantial audiences while maintaining luxury, turning movie watching into events. The bowling alley features multiple lanes with automated scoring and spectator-accommodating seating areas, because apparently home bowling requires tournament-level facilities. Basketball courts with professional dimensions and regulation equipment sit ready for games probably happening less frequently than maintenance schedules. Squash courts, tennis courts, and multiple swimming pools ensure physical fitness never requires leaving property. But the most audacious feature might be garage complex space for 100 vehicles. Not 10 cars, not even 50. 100. This garage could house entire classic car dealerships with expansion room. The structure includes specialized climate control preventing rust and degradation, security systems protecting million per vehicle investments, and presumably organizational systems tracking which 100 cars reside in which spots. Because at some point finding your car in your own garage becomes legitimate navigation challenges. Ira Rennert's wealth and lifestyle have generated controversy over years. His companies faced pollution lawsuits and environmental complaints, creating tensions between his industrial fortune and Hampton's neighbors valuing regional natural beauty. Fairfield's construction itself sparked local complaints about size and surrounding area impact, with neighbors arguing private compounds of this scale disrupt regional character. The property's $250 million valuation reflects not just buildings and land, but infrastructure making Fairfield function as independent entities. What makes 4 Fairfield Pond defy logic most profoundly is its commitment never needing anything beyond its borders. It's wealthy people's fantasies of complete independence, places where you can watch movies, play sports, store vast collections, generate power, and entertain hundreds without ever acknowledging outside world existence. The power plant symbolizes this ambition most clearly. It's not enough having backup power. Rennert built facilities making estates independent of public utilities entirely, immune to blackouts or rate increases, or any connections to infrastructure shared with ordinary citizens. Fairfield represents excess measured not in decoration, but capability. Ideas that homes should do absolutely everything, requiring nothing from communities beyond gates. Back across the Atlantic, London's most exclusive neighborhoods hide underground secrets beneath historic facades. 18 to 19 Kensington Gardens, $222 million. In London's prestigious Kensington neighborhood, where Georgian townhouses line tree-filled streets, steel magnate Lakshmi Mittal created something defying both logic and traditional British reserve. The property known as 18 to 19 Kensington Gardens, actually 2 adjacent connected townhouses extensively renovated, holds $222 million value. But true extravagance lies not in street-visible elements but in what Mittal buried beneath historic structures. Mittal, whose net worth fluctuates between $20 and $33 billion from ArcelorMittal Control, the world's largest steel company, purchased these properties and proceeded doing what ultra-wealthy Londoners perfected, going down when you can't build up. restricted by historic preservation laws from altering exterior facades or building additional stories, Mittal instead excavated beneath properties, creating massive underground extensions including swimming pools, tennis courts, health spas, and parking for multiple vehicles, all existing in subterranean spaces carved from London's earth. The tennis court alone represents engineering marvels. Building regulation-sized tennis courts underground requires excavating enough space for courts, plus overhead clearance for lobbed balls, meaning digging down approximately 30 to 40 feet, and reinforcing surrounding walls preventing cave-ins or water infiltration from London's notoriously wet climate. Ventilation systems must be sophisticated enough, preventing claustrophobic feelings while removing moisture accumulating when combining physical activity with underground enclosure. Lighting must replicate natural daylight, making tennis playing feel less like exercising in bunkers and more like being on above-ground courts. Renovations also incorporated luxury epitomizing materials, marble sourced from same quarries supplying the Taj Mahal. Yes, Mittal imported Indian marble from quarries famous for building world's most iconic monuments, using it lining bathrooms, hallways, and reception areas in his London townhouse. The marble's distinctive patterns and quality make it among the world's most expensive, and applying it throughout multi-story residences required specialized craftsmen understanding how to handle and install materials this precious. The property includes Turkish baths, complex spa systems with multiple treatment rooms, and above-ground living quarters, maintaining Kensington's expected historic character while hiding modern luxury beneath period details. Results are homes looking appropriately restrained from outside, fitting neighborhood aesthetics and historic preservation requirements, while harboring subterranean excess, making most luxury hotels look modest. Lakshmi Mittal's broader real estate portfolio extends far beyond London. He owns the yacht Amavie valued at $150 million, a Gulfstream jet for international travel, and luxury vehicle collections including Rolls-Royces and Mercedes. Recently, he's relocated much life to Dubai and Switzerland, seeking more favorable tax treatment and less regulatory oversight than the United Kingdom provides. What makes 18 to 19 Kensington Gardens defy logic is commitment preserving appearances while hiding extraordinary wealth beneath surfaces. Excavation costs alone, removing thousands of cubic meters of earth, reinforcing foundations supporting both original structures and new underground spaces, waterproofing against London's water tables, likely exceeded original property purchase costs. The property represents uniquely British excess forms, constrained by tradition and regulation but no less extravagant for those constraints. Where American billionaires build sprawling compounds and Indian tycoons construct vertical palaces, British ultra-wealth manifests by digging down, creating entire floors existing below surfaces while maintaining proper, reserved appearances above. Heading back to California's coast, modern architecture reaches its most minimalist yet expensive expression. Beyoncé and Jay-Z Malibu Mansion, $200 million. Perched on Malibu's exclusive coastline, where waves crash against cliffs and privacy comes at premium prices, sits a concrete masterpiece purchased by power couple Beyoncé and Jay-Z for $200 million, California's most expensive home sale at the time. This 30,000-square-foot residence, designed by renowned Japanese architect Tadao Ando, represents radical departures from typical mansion aesthetics. Where other billionaire homes accumulate decorative excess, this property strips luxury to its purest form: geometric concrete structures, seamless landscape integration, and infinity pools blurring boundaries between architecture and ocean. Ando's architectural philosophy centers on simplicity, natural materials, especially exposed concrete, and creating spaces where light, water, and nature interact in carefully choreographed ways. The Malibu Mansion embodies these principles through unadorned concrete walls, framing ocean views like artwork, minimal interior decoration focusing attention on surrounding environments, and pools positioned so precisely they appear merging with Pacific Ocean, stretching beyond them. Walking through these spaces feels less like touring traditional mansions and more like experiencing very expensive art pieces happening to include bedrooms and kitchens. The infinity pools deserve special attention. These aren't typical swimming pools where water stops at visible edges. Instead, Ando designed them so water flows over edges, creating visual effects where pool surfaces align perfectly with ocean horizons. Standing poolside, you can't determine where artificial water ends and natural sea begins. It's all one continuous blue plane extending to horizons. Achieving this effect requires sophisticated engineering, precise grading, ensuring pool edges align with house sight lines, constant water flow, maintaining overflow effects, and pumping systems powerful enough circulating water through pools designed for aesthetics rather than practical swimming. The residence occupies 8 acres, which in Malibu, where beachfront land rivals Monaco's prices per square foot, represents land investments constituting significant portions of property's $200 million price tags. Cliffside locations provide privacy and views, but also present engineering challenges. Coastal erosion constantly threatens properties built on these cliffs, requiring extensive foundation work and erosion control measures monitored and maintained continuously. Beyoncé and Jay-Z's combined net worth of $3 to $4 billion. Beyoncé contributing $1 billion from music careers, fashion ventures, and business investments. Jay-Z adding $2.5 billion from Roc Nation, early Uber investments, and entertainment empires, makes $200 million purchases significant but manageable acquisitions. Their real estate portfolio extends beyond Malibu, including $88 million Bel Air mansions, Hamptons residences, and various properties reflecting entertainment royalty status. What makes this property defy logic is contradiction between minimalist aesthetics and maximum costs. Concrete, typically affordable building materials chosen for practicality, becomes extreme luxury statements when poured and finished to Ando's exacting standards. Every surface must be perfectly smooth, every corner precisely 90 degrees, every concrete wall flawlessly gray, showing no imperfections or variations. The Malibu mansion defies logic by making minimalism more expensive than excess, turning architectural restraint into ultimate luxury, and demonstrating that when you're Beyoncé and Jay-Z, you can spend $200 million on concrete and water, and somehow make that feel like the most exclusive, desirable, statement-making choice possible. From the California coast, we travel north to Silicon Valley, where tech wealth manifests as cultural recreation. Ellison Estate, $200 million. In Woodside, California, nestled among rolling hills south of San Francisco, where tech billionaires maintain hidden estates, Oracle founder Larry Ellison created something defying categorization, a Japanese-inspired compound valued at $200 million, functioning more like theme parks dedicated to feudal Japan than traditional Western residences. Ellison, whose current net worth hovers between $227 and $245 billion, making him among Earth's wealthiest individuals, has famously channeled significant fortune portions into recreating experiences and aesthetics fascinating him, regardless of geography or practicality. The Woodside estate spans multiple acres, designed mimicking traditional Japanese villages from centuries past. The property includes several buildings constructed using authentic Japanese architectural techniques, with wooden structures, sliding shoji screens, tatami mat floors, and roof lines curving upward in distinctive historical Japanese temple and residence styles. Ellison imported not just materials but actual craftsmen from Japan, master carpenters understanding techniques passed down through generations, ensuring authenticity in every detail. From joinery holding beams together without nails to specific wood types chosen for different structural elements. The estate's centerpiece is an artificial lake because, apparently, California's natural water features aren't quite sufficient for recreating feudal Japan in Silicon Valley. The lake isn't small decorative ponds, but substantial water bodies complete with traditional Japanese koi fish. Not just any koi, but prize-winning specimens costing thousands each and requiring water quality management rivaling aquarium standards. The lake includes carefully positioned rocks appearing natural, but actually selected, transported, and placed according to Japanese garden design principles governing how water should flow and how stone should frame flows. Bridges arch over lakes in traditional Japanese styles, their wooden construction and distinctive shapes matching historical examples Ellison presumably studied before commissioning reproductions. Tea houses sit near water's edges, complete with architectural and ceremonial elements necessary for authentic Japanese tea ceremonies. Gardens surrounding these structures follow Japanese landscaping principles, where every plant, stone, and pathway is positioned, creating carefully orchestrated views, changing with seasons and revealing new aesthetic experiences from different vantage points. Larry Ellison's broader real estate portfolio reads like geographical catalogs of excess. He owns Hawaiian island Lanai, purchased for $300 million, where he's invested in hydroponics farms, luxury resorts, and conservation projects transforming entire islands according to his visions. His Malibu properties, plural, value at over $180 million collectively. Florida resort properties cost $277 million. Rhode Island investments involve restoring Beechwood Mansion as art museums with expenditures exceeding $100 million. What makes the Woodside estate defy logic is absolute commitment to cultural recreation. This isn't wealthy people incorporating some Japanese aesthetic elements into otherwise Western homes. Ellison built entire villages theoretically existing in feudal Japan, except they exist in California, require constant maintenance by staff trained in specialized techniques, and serve primarily as occasional residences rather than functional communities. The estate demonstrates that with sufficient resources you can quite literally purchase reality distortion, creating bubbles where normal rules of geography, history, and practicality don't apply. You want living in feudal Japan while running technology companies in Silicon Valley? $200 million makes that contradiction not just possible, but exquisitely executed. Finally, we return to Southern California for one last monument to extravagant living. Palazzo d'Amore, $195 million. Crowning a hilltop in Beverly Hills where views extend from downtown Los Angeles to Pacific Ocean, sits Palazzo d'Amore, the Palace of Love, a 53,000 square foot estate valued at $195 million, combining Italian villa aesthetics with California excess. Owned by real estate developer and hedge fund manager Jeff Green, whose net worth ranges between $3 and $3.4 billion accumulated through prescient real estate investments and financial strategies, this property takes entertaining concepts to absurd new heights by including amenities typically reserved for commercial venues. The estate sprawls across 25 acres, nearly incomprehensible land amounts in Beverly Hills, where flat, buildable acreage has become as rare as humility at Hollywood premieres. The property includes private vineyards with 12,000 grapevines producing wine exclusively for estates, making Palazzo d'Amore not just residences but working wineries. Vineyards require full-time viticulture specialists managing everything from pruning schedules to harvest timing to fermentation processes, transforming grapes into wine bottles, never seeing commercial sales, but instead stocking palazzo cellars for private consumption and guest gifts. The main residence features multiple structures built in Mediterranean architectural styles, with terracotta roofs, stucco walls, and archways framing views across Los Angeles basins. Inside, spaces divide into formal living areas, multiple bedroom suites, 12 total, and entertainment spaces blurring lines between residential and commercial. The 50-seat theater includes professional projection equipment, specialist-designed acoustics, and seating providing comfort and viewing angles typically found only in high-end private screening rooms or small commercial cinemas. The Turkish spa represents another commercial-grade amenity transplanted into residential contexts. This isn't bathrooms with nice bathtubs, it's full hammams with traditional heated marble slabs, steam rooms, cold plunges, and architectural elements defining authentic Turkish bath experiences. Creating this required importing specialists understanding specific construction techniques, heating systems, and material choices, making Turkish spas function properly, plus ongoing maintenance keeping marble heated, steam systems operational, and water quality maintained at standards preventing bacterial growth. Jeff Green's wealth derives from his ability anticipating market movements, famously profiting from subprime mortgage crises by shorting mortgage-backed securities before their collapses. This prescient investment strategy transformed millions into billions, funding lifestyles including not just Palazzo d'Amore, but additional Malibu mansions and Hampton's Sag Harbor estates, private jets for property travel, and yachts for entertaining guests at sea when land entertaining becomes insufficiently novel. What makes Palazzo d'Amore defy logic is commitment to self-contained entertainment on commercial scales. The 50-seat theater, Turkish spa, vineyard producing 12,000 wine bottles annually. These aren't residential amenities. They're business amenities transplanted into home settings. The estate represents logical extremes of never needing to leave home. You can screen films, enjoy spa treatments, drink estate-produced wine, swim in multiple pools, dine in formal spaces seating dozens, and entertain 50 theater guests, all without ever passing through property gates. Palazzo d'Amore defies logic by taking self-sufficiency to ridiculous extremes, by installing commercial amenities in residential contexts, and by arguing that entertaining 50 guests in private theaters is somehow preferable to attending public venues where you might encounter non-billionaires. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.